nutritious foods that have the essential nutrients which can promote their well-being, and one of the best of such nutritious foods is Vitamilk soy milk drink. Vitamilk is made from whole grain soybean, which is a good source of plant protein, and it is enriched with omega-3, 6 and 9, calcium, and the essential nutrients and multivitamins recommended for healthy living. Vitamilk has no artificial coloring, no artificial flavorings, and no preservatives. For over 20 years in Ghana, Vitamilk still remains the number one in quality, in taste, in nutritional benefits, and in reliability amongst most preferred beverages in Ghana. So choose Vitamilk Champ for your children, because the protein, calcium, and omega-3, 6 and 9 in Vitamilk Champ has proven to help your adorable children grow smarter, healthier, and strong every day. Vitamilk also comes in its regular soy milk drink, the energy, choco, banana, strawberry 250 ml, and Vitamilk 1 liter Tetra Pak. Vitamilk is indeed a nutritious beverage that feels good anywhere, anytime. Why do you have to buy a photocopier when you can lease and print unlimited? From just 983 Ghana cedis a month, you can lease a multifunctional photocopier with free paper and enjoy truly unlimited printing. Every lease comes with free toners and cartridges, free repairs, free maintenance, and full nationwide coverage across all 16 regions. Save yourself the high cost of buying machines, paying for paper, repairs, and maintenance. And there's flexible and customized payment options available for you. So visit us today on our website, valexlease.com, or call 0244 644048 or 0535208661. Or you can call 0208 6033112. Terms and conditions do apply. Valex Lease, affordable document management solutions. And that brings our time to exactly 4 p.m.
Je m'appelle.
Je m'appelle.
Je m'appelle.
Mappe. Et mappe. Hey, Asamo. French idiot. This is a midi croissant.
Meet Aja. She makes sobolo in a small shop in Kaswa. She's going places with MTN Ejumapa. Now, she's learning French kakra to teach her francophone customers indigenous recipes.
私の名前は
Watashi no na my boy.
Whoa. She's learning Japanese too? Watash. What? Echa sobolo to the whole Riase. If you're a woman with a small business, join MTN Ejumapa today by dialing *5060# and enjoy 150 megabytes data, a lifestyle bundle for social media, free MTN to MTN calls every Monday, and an insurance cover. You will also gain access to expert training, discounts on digital tools, and financial support to grow the business of your dreams. Terms and conditions apply. MTN.
Hello.
Hey girl, how did the photo shoot go?
I could barely smile due to bad stomach discomfort.
Aww.
The photographer was frustrated and even asked if the money was too small to smile. I almost ruined my photo shoot, but Gastron saved the day.
Wow.
And I started smiling from ear to ear.
Stomach discomfort ruins your day. Don't let it. Take Gastrone, your most effective antacid for the relief of symptoms of peptic ulcer, heartburn, gaseous discomfort, flatulence, and indigestion. Available in tablets and suspension. Gastrone is manufactured and distributed by Ernest Chemists Limited. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Hello, Ohima. Eti saying.
Ayo.
Na edahin.
Me kwatade.
Edi bensa.
Krachi. Obesuja na se obehwem kwem.
So, na se jane de wo so ayedan kwan de wohwem kakra.
Anyway, me kope vitamin B de adwodwema ko.
What a coincidence. Me say no na me koto, no na me no.
Hey bra, we de wo boa.
Oh, ahon fe minti min twa wontro.
Se wara.
Vitamilk no emu de he pa na we ni je ho.
Me pe Vitamilk banana any choco because I'm black and proud.
Hey, interesting. Me de me a regular guy oh. So wow.
When you kapao.
So wow. I can see we have something in common. Ohima, yanko ni yanko try a Vitamilk connection. Would you bo me kana metia? Anyi bia se kwan down.
E kwan be.
Aha, na muni brebi. Vitamilk di fufuro bia be kambusua ne ho ye friend of Vitamilk strawberry. Vitamilk feels good anywhere anytime. This advert is FDA approved.
Imagine a logistics partner that's more than just a partner. A single solution that's fast, efficient, cost-effective, and reliable. Welcome to Magdan Shipping Company Limited, the trusted name in shipping and logistics that's second to none. From owning our own vessels for dedicated ocean freight to providing chartered cargo planes for urgent air transport, we control the entire process. Need to move complex, large-scale equipment? Our expertise in project cargo ensures every detail is handled with precision. We provide seamless storage and distribution solutions that keep your supply chain running smoothly. Our affiliation with prominent international bodies, along with our vast network covering over 1,200 major air and seaports worldwide, guarantees our global reach and solid reliability. At Magdan, we don't just meet expectations, we exceed them. Get in touch now. Email sales@magdanshipping.com. Magdan Shipping Company Limited, your trusted partner for every logistical need.
Drive time on Joy 99.7 FM.
Radio means joy.
Indeed, radio means joy. 26 minutes to 5 p.m. here on Joy 99.7 FM. I will be reminding you of what you need to do this November and then, of course, in December. But right now, though, we're straight into the zone of Drive Chat, which is brought to you by MTN. Switch to MTN's eSIM. Download my MTN app to go SIMless today. Vitamilk, indeed, a nutritious beverage that feels good anywhere, anytime. Betway, get way more. Aqua Safari Resort bringing you closer to nature, and Malatu, power over malaria. Ginny Rice, spreading smiles. Now to the boss lady who's doing the listing right now. Yeah, you, the go-getter, the planner, the do-it-all woman building her business one bold step at a time. MTN sees you, and we're cheering you on every step of the way. And that's why we created MTN Ijumapa just for you. It's more than a bundle. It's your new business bestie. With special data and call bundles, you stay connected to your customers, suppliers, and everything that helps your hustle grow. And there is more. MTN Ijumapa also comes with insurance benefits to help protect the business you've worked so hard to build, because we know you're not just working for today, you're building a future. So it's time to level up, to scale up, and shine brighter than ever. Dial 5060# now, grab your Ejumapa bundle, and let's get to work on your success story together. MTN Ejumapa, powering women in business. Now, the joy of every parent is to see their children grow healthfully and become more intelligent and physically fit. And to achieve this desire, every parent needs to ensure that their children are given nutritious foods that have all the essential nutrients. And that's why Vitamilk comes in, because it is enriched with omega-3, 6, and 9, calcium, and all the essential nutrients and multivitamins recommended for healthy living. No artificial coloring, no artificial flavorings, and no preservatives. And for over 20 years, it's been number one choice for almost everyone when it comes to beverages. Now, you can choose Vitamilk Champ for your children. You can try the regular soy milk drink. You can try the energy booster with no caffeine, the choco banana strawberry 250 ml, and the 1 liter Tetra Pak. Vitamilk is indeed a nutritious beverage that feels good anywhere, anytime. You can experience the ultimate waterfront getaway at Aqua Safari. Relax in style and comfort, and let the soothing sounds of nature rejuvenate your soul. Come visit the best resort in Ghana. From luxurious rooms and suites to exciting water sports and outdoor activities, the stay packages are designed to provide you with an unforgettable experience at this serene bank of the Volta River at Big Ada. Therefore, whether you're looking for a vacation destination or that perfect riverfront venue for your conference, your only option is Aqua Safari. Call 0800 110 190 or 0540 110 190. And just before we get into our conversation with our drive doctor, I want to find out if you have checked out the Betway exclusives yet. Yeah, if you haven't, then please, you need to start. Because there are, these games on Betway's, they have Betway's very own exciting games, like the Soccer Striker, the Fly X, the Chicken Game, Spin the Bottle, and many more. You're not going to find them anywhere else apart from Betway. They are quick, they are fun, and they are full of thrills. Only on Betway. So don't miss out. Log in today, play your favorite Betway exclusive games, and get way more excitement. Remember, Betway is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. No under 18. Bet responsibly. Now, last week we received a letter from one of our listeners, and we read it out while Dr. Osafo was right here in the studio, and it was a letter about the father actually, being down with stroke, and the father actually changed completely. He was not recognizable. And so this person wrote to us, and we started the conversation with our drive doctor. What stroke is. He told us about the frontal lobe, the temporal lobe, the occipital lobe, and the parietal lobe. Doc, I hope I got it right.
Super.
Hey, I was there, doctor. But yes, so today we're continuing with that conversation, the part 2. And like I mentioned earlier, your questions are welcome. If we have some space, we'll also activate the phones. But you can text us now, 055-111-1997. What are some of the things that you heard about stroke that you need answers to? Doc.
Right.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And it's good to be here in the studio.
That's
good afternoon
right.
to all our listeners. And as you rightly pointed out, last week we started a conversation about strokes, and we can go on and on and on and talk about 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks just talking about strokes.
Right.
But it is also a very, very important conversation for us to have, because unfortunately we just have way too many people suffering from strokes, and the effects are long term, long lasting, and unfortunately when it comes to diagnostic ability and also the full complement of health human resource that we need to help manage the bad forms of stroke, then we're a bit handicapped. So it is important that we have today's conversation and look at some of the preventive methods that strategies to avoid it. So we're doing part 2 today, and let's jump straight into it. We're going to talk about the causes. Last week I mentioned that there are 2 types of strokes. If you have a stroke, the doctors will either tell you that it is the occlusive type, meaning the blood vessel is blocked.
Right.
And therefore the part of the brain that receives blood from that particular blood vessel gets injured. We call that the ischemic stroke. That's a technical term, or the occlusive stroke. And then we also have the other one, the best pipe type, the hemorrhagic stroke,
yes.
Where the blood oozes into the substance of the brain. So, what causes the ischemic stroke? Well, there is a process we call atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis. You would sometimes see plaques when buildings are being commissioned. A plaque is put on the wall or the building, somewhere in the building, and then they will call Kofi
this is
Hayford,
commissioned by Kofi Hayford, blah blah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We call that a plaque. It juts out of the building. It stays there. It's a permanent feature. I want everybody to think about atherosclerosis in that same light, where you have this substance largely made up of cholesterol. Its core is made up of cholesterol, and it gets deposited on the insides of your blood vessel, the arteries, the ones that bring blood to different parts of the body.
Right.
And it keeps growing if you keep adding to it. That substance is not only made up of cholesterol. Let me repeat. It is largely cholesterol. The core of it is cholesterol.
Okay.
And the lumen, the size of the blood vessel, is fixed. So if you stick something on the inside and you keep growing it, you begin to gradually, over time, reduce the lumen, the diameter of the blood vessel. At a point, that whole substance can rupture. So it's like a refuse heap. Think about it that way as well. The core, the inside of the heap, if you open that refuse heap, the core of it, you'll find so many things, undesirable things going on there.
Right.
And at a point, the plaque can rupture and reveal the inside of it. When that happens, your body automatically throws what we call platelets. These are tiny cells that we find in the blood to try and seal that rupture of the plaque. In doing so, you completely seal the inside of the blood vessel.
Wow.
Yes. And that leads to that ischemic stroke. So, this is the reason why we are interested in measuring blood cholesterol. This is the reason why those who have a history of high blood pressure, hypertension, and diabetes mellitus, they are at a higher risk of suffering a stroke because unfortunately their blood tends to be rich or richer in cholesterol, which gets deposited in this, what we call the atherosclerotic plaques.
Okay.
All right. So you have plaque formation, and that leads to blockage at the end of the day. So we need to keep an eye on our blood cholesterol levels for this particular reason. Almost 90% of all strokes that occur are of the ischemic type.
90%?
Yes.
Wow.
You know, so that's very, very common that we see. Now, when we talk about the hemorrhagic stroke, then it means the blood vessel or the artery breaks open, and it's like just a burst pipe principle. Everything then blood just oozes into the substance of the brain. And what will cause the blood vessel to burst? The pressure. The pressure within it. High blood pressure, hypertension. What in Ghana we popularly call BP.
BP. Or BP.
Or BP. But everybody must have some blood pressure.
Exactly.
You know, but
I
in
always
Ghana,
say that, yes. High blood pressure is BP one.
Or BP, yes.
Like,
Who did BP?
Why they need BP?
Who did BP? If your blood pressure is zero, you're dead. But I think here we refer to essential hypertension as BP. All right. So high blood pressure typically is the reason why the blood vessels would break open. All right. But you can sometimes also have defects in the blood vessels, or something we call an aneurysm.
Okay.
An aneurysm is a weakness or a thin spot in the wall of the artery. You know, so Kofi, in the history of the Gans or that migrated from
Nigeria,
Agokoli or something,
okay. Yeah.
And Togo or something, they were pouring water against a particular part of the wall, and then eventually that part softened, and then they could break through that part of the wall and escape and move westwards into Ghana. Right. I want everybody to think about that when we hear the word aneurysm.
Okay.
There is a weakness, an area of weakness, a particular area in the wall of the blood vessel, and unfortunately the muscle layer and the other layers that contribute to forming the wall, the substance changes, and therefore that area becomes weak. So even with normal blood pressure, that area balloons out and can actually break open with normal blood pressure. All right?
Because it is weak.
Because there's an area of weakness. We're not always sure why that weakness happens. But most of the time, blood vessel is fine, but the individual has poorly controlled blood pressures or has very, very high blood pressures. Then it exerts a certain force on the wall and it breaks it open. So whenever people walk around with very, very high blood pressures, 190 over 110, 200 over 120, sometimes people come to the hospital with this, "Oh, doctor, I have a bit of headache. I have a bit of headache." Well, that is a time bomb. It's a ticking time bomb. And for most people, eventually, the blood vessel in the brain just breaks open. Right. So, Kofi, now let's look at some of the symptoms of a stroke. All right. What do patients usually come to us to complain about? Well, last week, the reason why we spent time talking about the lobes, the frontal lobe, the temporal lobe, the parietal lobe, and the occipital lobe, and talking about the various functions that these lobes observe, was simply for us to arrive at this particular point. All right. So if you remember, we talked about one of the functions of the frontal lobe being personality of the individual.
Yes.
All right. And if you have a stroke, whether it's the ischemic or the hemorrhagic type, and it is the frontal lobe that is affected, it may completely do you over in terms of your personality. You know, I know in the media space, sometimes people will hire PR professionals to make them over in terms of who they are, their personality, and, you know, their character for them to be likable and all of that. Well, you can suffer a stroke, and if the blood vessel goes to supply a particular part of the brain, then the functions that particular part subserves is gone.
Wow.
You know, so we can have a tall list We talked about the part of the brain responsible for memory. We talked about a part of the brain responsible for speech. So there are individuals who have a stroke and then they lose their ability to talk. They lose their speech. And if you're a lecturer in the university, then how are you going to teach?
Yeah, that's...
If you do this job, you've been talking from 2 o'clock, you talk for 11, then you don't have a job anymore.
Yeah.
But even if you don't do any of these things, how would you communicate with the next, human being? Again, people have a stroke and then they experience memory losses. All right? You can have a massive one and everything is completely gone. The slate is wiped clean. Person doesn't remember their name. They cannot remember significant members of their families. They can remember their jobs that they held and so on and so forth. But Kofi, you can also have the small strokes, if I'll call it that way, and the person starts to be forgetful, losing little things here and there. Yeah, it's okay if every now and then, I can't find... I think the other Philip was telling me that he was on the phone.
He was looking for the phone?
Because he wasn't using the phone, he was using an earpiece or something. Then he was telling his wife that he thinks he left his phone at home and all that. As a sort of because he was using the Bluetooth something in the car and all of those things. Completely forgotten that, I have the phone in the car. Yeah, those things are okay every now and then because we are not paying attention. We may have some memory lapses. But there's certain things you cannot forget. And if you're observing your partner, you're observing your father, your mother at home, your siblings, anybody you live with, and you think that, no, this is getting out of hand, your memory lapses getting too much, sometimes you may want to get a doctor to have a look at that particular person because they may be having tiny strokes affecting the memory area of the brain.
So, Doc,
and that is why they keep...
Yeah, sorry about that. But what are some of the typical things that we should look out for? When they forget, what are some of the typical things that we should look out for?
So Kofi, you shouldn't forget, for example, the days of the week. Typically, if you go to work, then for me, I sort of know my schedule. Monday, I am in Mampo. Tuesday, Monday, I'm at the East Legon branch. Tuesday, I have to be in Mampo. Wednesday, I have to come to Joy FM. At 4:30. So those things are all sort of just there.
Right.
But if one day I wake up Saturday morning or something and I say I'm going to work at Joy because I've got drive doctor or something.
That's alarming.
Yes, that's alarming. My wife should be able to tell me that, hey, you know what, no, you're going to see the doctor. I'm taking you to the doctor. You're not going out of the house. So things like that. A significant member of the family comes to visit. You're not quite sure. Who that. And then it's either your spouse or something telling you that,
this
but
is
it's not
uncle.
your this thing.
Stuff
those
like that.
Kinds of things should raise the alarm bells. Again, it may be very trivial things, but if they are happening consistently, then that also might be a problem. But you every day you can't find your phone. Like every day, it can't be every day. Every now and then you lose it. That's fine. But Kofi, some of them can also have balance problems. There might be loss of vision, or the double vision. They may have visual disturbances. So all those things may not just be you have an eye problem. Remember, a stroke is a brain problem. All right? But the part of the brain that lets us see through our eyes, it's at the back of the head. And if you have a stroke in that area, you may have visual disturbances. So when people have sudden loss of vision, significant loss of vision, not entirely, partially, it may be paralysis or weakness on one side of your body and face may be also a reason. I think that one most people are quite familiar with it. And before you get to the paralysis, it may start as weakness, all right? Where you are holding something and it actually falls out of your hands and you didn't deliberately let go, all right? You are dragging your feet. Your feet or your legs and feet suddenly feel very heavy, to lift them. And typically it's happening on one side of the body, then you should, think about a stroke and try and get to the hospital. Sometimes it's something we call a stroke in evolution. Sudden severe headaches may also be the onset of a stroke or a symptom of a stroke. If you have trouble speaking suddenly, or you have a trouble understanding what others are saying, all right? If you develop slurred speech, so Kofi, I'm talking to you right now, and then I start slurring, then I answer my slangs, I heard that the say soccer.
Soccer.
Chinese people have to check them. If you're not in America, you speak like
soccer.
that. Soccer, we'll check
you. You have to take it to medicals.
Get your CT scan. Right. So, if you haven't seen all of these things, you go to a doctor, what would we do? Well, the diagnosis is typically clinical. All right. We don't, we rely a lot on the history. We rely a lot on the physical examination findings, looking out for all of these things, asking a lot of questions, even your past medical history. Are you diabetic? Are you hypertensive? We'd ask for all of those things and do a very thorough physical examination. This is a proper head-to-toe examination your doctor will do, looking even at your pupils, and how they react to lights and all of that. Then we need a CT scan. We need imaging of the brain. And at this moment, I want to greet the Minister of Health and tell him that as I'm greeting him, all district hospitals in Ghana must have a CT scan. Why? In treating somebody with a stroke, the speed with which we're able to diagnose the stroke makes a world of difference.
Right.
So how many district and municipal hospitals in Ghana have CT scanners? Functioning ones. Such that if somebody has a stroke in a whole district, we don't need to travel to the regional hospital to get a diagnosis. They say door to diagnosis is 40 minutes. In certain jurisdictions. So please, we should invest in imaging, CT scanners that allow us to examine the brain where the injury is happening. It will let us know exactly which part, which lobe is involved, the size of the injury, and what interventions are most appropriate. So, Kofi, these are the things. Other tests would be done, blood tests for your kidney function, liver functions, but those are to help guide the management of the patient. What is your doctor going to do once the diagnosis is nailed? Well, there are medical aspects to the treatment. A few times, there may be surgical intervention where we try and go and reopen the blocked blood vessel. So sometimes you may have those interventions. And that's why the speed is very important. If we make the diagnosis 24 hours after the thing started, the brain is already damaged.
90. So, Doc, let me use this opportunity. I think we can take maybe one call.
Sure.
So 0302-216-541, 0302-216-541. If you have any questions with regard to our conversation on stroke, please throw them in right now. You can call us. Dr. Osafo is here. He would answer your question. We have just about 4 minutes to go on Drive Chat. So, Doc, please go ahead.
Right. So, how can we reduce the risk of developing a stroke? I think these are the take-home points for the audience or those who are listening today. Number one, control high blood pressure, hypertension. It needs to be controlled. Number two, eat a hypertension diet. What do we mean by a hypertension diet? Is a diet low in salt, a diet low in fat, and a diet low in calories. Or calorie low diet. Now we have calorie dense diets. The drink, the cookies, the chocolate. No, these are packed with calories. Number three, exercise regularly. Moderate intensity aerobic exercises, at least 30 minutes a day, 150 minutes a week. Do that. Limit your intake of alcohol. Don't use recreational drugs. They say we should call it recreational drugs, but we need cocaine, heroin, those things. They say this, we should call them recreational drugs. Until they drugs of abuse. Maintain a healthy weight. Maintain a healthy weight. A lot of young people, too many young people are guilty of this.
Yeah, that's true.
And please let us do this to reduce our risk of developing a stroke. Manage your diabetes. glucose and cholesterol levels need to be managed. Because of that occlusive, the atherosclerosis I talked about, which at its core, you have cholesterol. If you smoke, quit. This one is not like the alcohol advice where we say reduce or limit. Or
yeah, this one is quit.
Smoking tobacco is one of the worst things you can ever do. So get help to quit if you can do it. Reduce your stress levels. And lastly, see your healthcare provider for regular checkups.
Okay.
So, Kofi, this is how you can reduce your risk of developing a stroke.
Okay. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that the questions will come in directly to you.
Yes.
Maybe not on the show today. So let's have your your contact and where we can find you as well.
Good. So those who want to reach out to us, the number is 0501 477 340. You can send us a WhatsApp on 0501 477 340. Or Kofi, you can come by. It's number 10 Kincho Street at our East Legon Hills branch. Not too far from the Ashalibotwe School Junction.
That's right.
You can find us there. You can come to the hypertension clinic. You can come into the diabetes clinic. Call us. Somebody will book an appointment and we will help those who've already had a stroke or those who have risk factors, as I have mentioned, who need to control it.
That's right. The number just one more time before you go.
It's 0501 477 340.
Alrighty.
Same number for WhatsApp.
That's right. Thank you very, very much, Dr. Yaw Osafo. We're grateful. We'll catch you next week.
Absolutely.
Alrighty. So that was Dr. Yaw Osafo right there. Please make sure you call the numbers and seek help. All right. We'll be going for the